welcome to Juggling Elephants, the Stress Killer. My name is Brittany Menning, and I am the peer educator and total EIU coordinator for the Health Education Resource Center. This is a little slow. Okay. So how stressed are you? Typically, what is your stress level? 1 to 3, 4 to 6, or 7 to 10?
Probably
4 to 6. And that's normal. Like it says, for 5, regular stress, always under pressure, but it's definitely manageable. So, and then it also talks about, 1, you're not stressed at all, you're just carefree, having a good time, no worries. And then 10 is, you're so stressed, you're hyperventilating, and needs the oxygen mask before you even have the plane take off.
Probably like a borderline 6, 7.
Okay. So what are your stressors? If you can, take out a piece of paper and write down everything that causes you stress in your life, or even just this semester. And then circle things that are out of your control. Okay, now we're going to come back to that list a little later, but we're going to go over stress first. So what is stress? Good stress is called eustress, and bad stress is called distress. Good stress improves your performance, it's exciting, motivating, and it's usually short term. So good stress could be, for me, it's going on a roller coaster ride and feeling that first fall. That is so stressful, but at the same time, I love it, and it's like the best feeling in the entire world. But with distress, it can be anything that causes anxiety or concern. It feels unpleasant, and it decreases performance. So this could be stress over a final, or writing a paper, stress with family life, just anything like that that could be harmful to you. So there are 3 categories of stress. And for relational stressors, it is environmental, family and relationship stressors, or social stressors. Environmental stressors are something that deals with the environment around you. Like it says, it can be a barking dog next door, an unsafe neighborhood. For me, it's getting lost because I don't know where I'm at. Family and relationship stressors, this could be problems with friends, romantic partners, family members, things that just happen on a regular basis. And then social stressors. Social situations that cause you stress could be financial, racial and sexual discrimination or harassment, unemployment, getting into classes, just making sure your education is well in general. Okay, so some minor and major stresses are accidental, major life changes, or ongoing problems. Accidental can be losing your keys, getting a flat tire, a ticket, missing the bus, oversleeping your alarm, again, getting lost. Major life changes, so graduation, moving out for the first time on your own, a death in the family, having a baby, so anything that is really life-changing that can never be reversed. Ongoing problems, so unhappy relationship, financial problems, unstable job, or health conditions that cause fear. So internal stressors are self-generated. They're different for everyone. And some of these can be you're worried, a pessimistic attitude, low self-esteem on everything that's just going on in your life, apprehensions or fears, and just kind of uncertainty of what to expect for the future. So how do you cope with stress? On that same sheet of paper, I'd like you to write down ways that you cope with your stress. All right, we're gonna watch a quick YouTube video.
In this morning's Health Watch, secret signs of stress. We all know about dry mouth and sweaty palms, but there are hidden signals your body sends out as well. When our Dr. Jennifer Ashton is here to help us decode them. Stress,
Good morning, Harry.
not good, right?
It can be, and that's really one of the big myths, is that stress is a normal physiologic response in our body and our brain to a stimulation, okay? And people have heard the fight or flight response in the
sure.
body. That's usually with a threat, but any stress, whether it's a physical or emotional or psychological one, can produce a response, and for some people that might be a positive or beneficial thing. It's not always negative.
All right, let's talk about some of the different secret signs that you may not recognize, including cravings.
Yeah, cravings. Well, you know what? Desserts is stressed reversed. So think about that one. Stressed is desserts backwards.
I like it.
Okay, listen, people know when they crave comfort foods, and there's an unclear, probably complicated, intricate mechanism that goes on in the brain. Probably has to do with some carbohydrates and serotonin, which is a feel-good neurochemical.
Yeah.
But listen, you want to keep it under control.
It's a
A little
neurophysiological response.
Exactly, Harry.
Okay.
A little chocolate, a little ice cream might make you feel better. A lot, not a good
Not
thing.
such a good, and not over the long term. Skin problems. I think we get that, right?
This is huge. You know, the skin is the largest organ in the body. So when you have a skin problem, especially if it's severe or chronic, it comes and goes, or it's really affecting a large part of the body, you want to look at an overall diffuse body process instead of, you know, looking at that one pimple and thinking just of your face.
Right.
We know that when you're stressed, your body can trigger the release of certain hormones.
Right.
They, in turn, can cause both inflammation and increase in oil buildup in your skin. And you want to realize that it's your body telling you, I'm stressed.
Time to chill. You get sores in your mouth sometimes?
Yeah, listen, this could be anything from psoriasis, eczema, acne, cold sores. Again, you want to really listen to your body. This is your body saying, this is an overall process and I'm showing it to you in my largest organ.
Stress. I really believe this to be true, that stress exacerbates allergic reactions.
It is true, and again, not really clear why. There is some thinking that a certain protein involved in the allergic response can be triggered when your body is stressed. If you know you suffer from allergies and you find them particularly worse at a stressful time, you want to deal with the stress, not just the allergic
Here's your big
reaction.
surprise though, weekend headaches. You're stressed all week, and then on the weekend?
Right. And people see this after big exams. They'll get a migraine after the event, after the test. So again, if you want to, if you know that you're subject or prone to migraines or those kind of headaches, you want to take a little bit of extra TLC after the fact so you can try to prevent it.
And then we have one here that says hair loss is a sign of stress.
What do you think about that, Harry? You never seem stressed to me.
No, never. Deep down inside. Dr. Jennifer Ashton, thank you so much.
A lot happens early on the Early Show. Weekday mornings on CBS.
Okay. So. What were some of the things that they talked about within this clip that kind of stood out to you?
The allergies thing, that's crazy because I have allergies and sometimes I have allergic, like my skin is really sensitive, so I get like allergic reactions like crazy, and so it's like this semester has been like crazy with my allergies, and I'm just thinking like, starting Charleston air, but no, it's probably from being stressed. That's so funny.
Yeah, it happens to me a lot too.
Wow.
So I definitely sneeze a lot more when I'm stressed because of my allergies acting up and all of that. So it's definitely possible.
And the headache thing, that was that. I didn't realize that that's what that was. 'Cause, like, for example, I had 3 exams yesterday, and they were all like back to back. And so like on my hour break, and then I had to go to work, and like that whole time, like while I was at work, my head was just like, it was terrible. It was horrible.
And it's actually more normal than people realize. So, all right, ways to react to stress. Some of the stuff that was talked about in the video is up here. You can have physical or physiological, emotional, behavioral, or social. With physical or physiological, it's you're sick to the stomach, your heart's pounding, flushed skin, sweating. It's everything that deals with your body that we can't really control. Emotional is your anger. One minute you're angry, the next minute you want to cry. You feel really sad, and then you start to panic about something. And again, with those feelings, it goes starting to go into the physical and physiological stages as well. Behavioral, you may or may not eat more or less. It could affect your mood, and it could also affect your sleep as well. Socially, if you keep everything in, so you talk less, you start withdrawing from the crowd, kind of become a hermit, or you just kind of let loose on everyone, and it doesn't matter if you just say hi or you just say sorry. You're getting a whole mouthful of words that you may not necessarily say in a different situation. So, alright, so the 90-10 principle. 10% of life is made up of what happens to you. The other 90% is decided by how you react to it. We really have no control over 10% of what happens to us. We cannot stop the car from breaking down. The plane will be late arriving, which throws our whole schedule off. A driver may cut us off in the traffic. The other 90% is different. You determine the other 90. So here's a little example. You're having breakfast with your roommate and your girlfriend when your roommate knocks your cup of orange juice onto your pants. You jump up and curse at him, and he curses back at you. Girlfriend comments that maybe you should not have had your cup so close to the edge. You call her some choice words and storm out to go change. You realize that you cannot find your keys and that they were on the tray you threw away. He frantically searches for your keys through the garbage while people laugh at you. You end up being late for class and getting a 0 on the quiz given at the beginning of class. Your day has started off horribly. So if we were being positive about this, what are some things that we would have changed just from looking at this story?
What would I change?
To make it positive, instead of having your day just be so horrible.
I know that's a sucky way to start off the day. But, I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. If he was late, you got the 0, you can either accept it or complain about it all day.
Okay. Here's what we came up with. How it could have went is your roommate spills your orange juice on your lap. You say, this sucks, but that's okay, accidents happen, and he apologizes and gets you some paper towels. You dry off and get to go change. Your girlfriend hands you your keys and says she will put your tray away. You change and get to class early and look over your notes. The professor gives you a quiz and you get an A. Your day has started off fabulous. So just by acting right away with the OJ being different in those two situations, you have two different reactions to how the rest of your day ends up. So, when stress happens, emergency stress stoppers. So, why don't we take a look at our sheets of paper that we had written down, and what were some of the things that we wrote about?
For what stresses us?
And for what stresses you out, and then kind of how you cope with it.
School stresses me out. So I try to relax and watch movies, like, and have some sort of downtime so that I can, be okay. And then my family stresses me out. I don't really know what to do about that. I probably like go to sleep. Like if I'm on the phone with my mom for like 2 hours, and she was just talking for the last 2 hours about who knows what. She lost me an hour and 15 minutes ago. So I probably normally after conversations like that or something like that, I go to sleep. So I just go to sleep.
Those are good. And here are some more that we have to help with your stressors. Count to 10 before you speak, especially if you're in an argument. And you also kind of want to take 3 to 5 deep breaths within those 10 seconds to kind of help you calm down. Another thing that we suggest to do is go for a walk. It helps you process everything that's happened and lets you kind of cool off as well. Walk away and handle the situation later. Again, going for that walk, it lets everyone cool down and you can come back when you're all level-headed again. Don't be afraid to say I'm sorry if you make a mistake. This is a huge one. Many people are afraid to say I'm sorry because they don't want to know that they were wrong. But saying I'm sorry actually makes other people more willing to apologize as well. By being the bigger man and saying it first, it also breaks down those walls that they may have built up over that time period. Avoid busy roads if you find they cause you stress, and break down bigger problems and tackle things individually. So kind of like what you said with school stressing you out. So altogether school stresses you out. If we broke that down and said, okay, let's look at your classes. And then we'd look at that and break it down, and then we could break down even your classes and say, what's in your classes that may be stressing you out. So breaking it down in smaller steps actually makes it more plausible for you to tackle all of these things. So, preventing stress. The healthier you are, the better able you are to manage stress when it happens. You want to exercise regularly because it releases endorphins and it makes you happy, kind of like they say on Legally Blonde. And you want to do meditation through movement. And this just burns all of that extra stress off and burns off the aggression, and then you're just left happy. So what I do is I do a lot of kickboxing, and I just picture that bag as that thing that I'm really stressed out about or that thing I'm really eager about. And after class, I'm great because I got it all out. You also want to make sure you get adequate sleep. You want to be able to get 7 to 9 hours a night, and you want to really look at it as quality over quantity. The better your sleep situation is, the better sleep you're going to get. You can sleep for 12 hours, but never really go through the full REM cycle. And so that's where a lot of people think, oh, that's great, I slept for 12 hours, I'm so rested. But did you get a really deep sleep 12 hours, or did you just kind of in and up, you were kind of walking around, you had to get up and go to the bathroom, you were tossing and turning a lot. So even though it looks great that you slept that long, it doesn't necessarily mean that you got all the sleep that was really needed. So, and then you also want to go to bed at consistent times. The more that you go to bed and wake up at consistent times, the better that your body will be able to adjust and go through all those runs of sleep. Also want to have a healthy attitude. No one likes a Debbie Downer. So attitude is everything. If you think positive, positive things will happen, even in negative situations. And with those negative situations, like with the orange juice, if you're just like, oh well, I spilled orange juice, there's nothing we can do about it, then you kind of go on from there. You can also reward yourself. I like to do this by eating lots and lots of ice cream. And then you can also avoid stress-resistant people. You want to focus on immediate issues rather than issues from the past. You want to share optimism and change is positive rather than a threat. Now this is one I have a big problem with. I procrastinate like no other. But one thing to do to not procrastinate is tackle things as they occur. So instead of waiting for that due date the night before to write a paper, I get the syllabus and I start kind of writing it then. Organize your life, keep an agenda or a planner. That helps a lot. Personal deadlines, they help a lot because it's what you set for yourself, so it's your own personal goals. And then take notes in class that will make sense later on to you. And study for tests a little each night rather than the night before for hours. So they've actually done tests to show that people who study over time actually retain more information than the 12 hours before the test. And then diet is huge when it comes to stress. When stress occurs, it increases your adrenaline and cholesterol. There's a spike in the blood sugar and cholesterol. There's an accumulation of toxins. You can have gastrointestinal disorders or irritation and suppression of the immune system. So when you're really stressed and constantly stressed all the time, your immune system breaks down and that's when you really start to get sick. So what foods do you think aggravate stress?
Which foods do I think aggravate stress?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Oily based foods do it to me. Like when I was in college, if I ate Chinese food, it did not do nice things to me because almost all your Chinese food has some type of oil base to it.
Really? Food can stress you out?
Oh yeah.
Well, the food, it's not so much the food that stresses you out, it's the stress that you have and then
And the food mixed in makes it worse.
because of all the adrenaline and different things in your body. So like the oil and the different
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sometimes pizza.
Pizza, yeah. So these are the foods, and it really hurts to see chocolate up there because I love it. But it is actually one of those foods that can increase your stress. We're talking about the oil, the coconut oils up there, junk food in general is bad. Alcohol can really make things worse for you as well. Soda, so that's why we kind of say instead of soda, put in a water instead. So any of this stuff really can make it worse than it really is. So foods that help reduce stress, which are also some of my favorites, are pastas, fruits, whole grains, chicken, fish, avocados, again, fish, olives, other foods. Almonds are really good. If you eat 5 almonds a day, they're supposed to be amazing for your skin and just protein in general. Skim milk instead of 1 or 2% is a lot better for you. And then yogurt, especially the Greek yogurt. So yeah, pistachios are great for you. You can see that fish is on here multiple times, and as much as people don't like fish, it's some of the healthiest food that someone can eat. So, time manage, kind of to get away from that procrastination, people. So you want to prepare. You want to plan for stressful events. So when I know that finals are coming up, I start planning for it. I get my note cards ready. I get the papers ready that I need to do. I want to try to stop overlapping stressors. So one day I'll study for one class, the next day is a different class. So they're not overlapping, but at the same time I'm giving ample time to both of them. Want to prioritize. So for me, it's what is more important to me at the time. If it's that test on Monday, it's more important than that test on Thursday, then that's probably what it is. Or it can also depend on, I need a better grade on the Thursday test instead of the Monday test, so I might spend more time on that Thursday one. It all depends on the situation. You want to be realistic in how you prioritize, because sometimes what you think in your head may be real or you can accomplish, you really can't, because you're not including all the others, like you're not including life. So that's something that you need to remember. You need to realize your limitations. You need to learn to say no. I have a huge problem with this one. And you want to shed the perfection impulse. Everyone wants to be perfect, but it's just impossible. So the earlier we start to realize that we can only do our best, we can never be perfect, then we'll be able to realize our limitations as well. Practice good communication. Always ask for help when needed. And the sooner you ask for help, the sooner people around you will be able to read your body language and know when to help you sooner. So you're never back to this stressful period. So that was always a big tool that we used. So what else can you do? The pressure points in between your fingers, so right in here, right, if you just rub them, they're pressure points, so they relieve stress. Listening to soft music, like classical music, really helps, or if you're working out, you can listen to hard aggression, angry music. Like we've talked about before, deep breathing in through the mouth and exhale through your nose. It's really good. I know it usually says in through the nose, out through the mouth, but with the in through the mouth, you actually take in more air and then slower coming out of your nose. So try laughing or smiling. Yeah, kid's stuck in the toilet, but what's all that stuff in the tub? So as funny as the kid is being stuck in the toilet, that's a lot of stuff that would stress me out being in my tub, because how am I going to shower? That would stress me out more than anything. So we always joke about that one, but at the same time it is not unheard of for people's bathrooms to look like that.
Really?
Oh yes. So what else can you do? So progressive muscle relaxation. You want to start at your extremities. What you can do is you just tighten every muscle and then slowly loosen it, and you'll feel like that tingling sensation, and that really helps a lot. It just feels like you can feel the stress leaving your body. The relaxation chairs that are in the Bridge Lounge, you can use those. There's quiet rooms that you can study in, meditation rooms, or you can even go to the Pilates or yoga classes that are in our own rec center. Again, instead of drinking that soda, we ask that you drink water. It's calming, cooling, and it also reduces your fatigue. And then 1440 in the bank. Every day at 12 a.m., 1440 is deposited. You have 24 hours to spend it. How you do affects your stress level, so spend it wisely. So does this kind of make sense? Yeah.
Is that how many minutes I have in a day?
Yeah. You have 1440 minutes in a day. So depending on how you spend it affects your stress level.